Mid-2019, you will see an Audi cutting a brand new silhouette on the roads, and that is the Audi Q8. Today, we have that Q8. We have a 55 TFSI with every option possible in it. I'm going to take you all the way through it. The car feels really quite nimble. And I like going around these corners, which is why I wanted to jump straight onto the freeway, and then we can test some tech out as we're cruising along. As we're jumping on here, I'm just going to flick this little drive select button down immediately into dynamic. The touch screen is a little bit heavy-handed. You get a bit of feedback, but when you do, and it does click into dynamic, and you see the whole car just lowering just a touch, and it handles really nicely for a 2.5 ton truck as we go around a U-turn there, and then we're straight into it. We're straight into all 250 kilowatts on the freeway, and we're at the speed we need to be at. We'll just flick this onto my tech of the year, which is the adaptive cruise control. If I'm buying a new car anytime onward from mid-2019, it will have whichever brand's cruise control I see fit, because it's so great. What it does is it radar tracks the car in front of you, and it goes at their speed. You can add an extra bit of buffer in place so you never get too close. It will go all the way down to 0. So if you're stuck in traffic on the Monash Freeway or the Hume Highway, whatever it might be, you don't always need to be on the brake and always need to be accelerating. The car will do it for you. It will keep an eye and make sure you don't bump the guy in front. Adaptive cruise control has gone one step above, and it said, I'll keep you in the lanes. That, for me, is the most impressive part of adaptive cruise control. And if I'm honest, the Audi Q8 doesn't do it as well as some of the competitors. The Mercedes, the BMW, the new BMW range, and the Volvo, I was overly impressed with their automation of driving. I find, so I've got all green lights in front of me. If you've ever used it, it takes a little bit of time. It tracks the person in front, that gives you a green light. Tracks the distance, that gives you a green light, and then it tracks the lanes, and as soon as everything's green, it should be doing it for you. Yet I'm just squeezing a little uncomfortably close. A little bit uncomfortably close to this line here. And it might be a user issue. This may well be a user issue. Oh my goodness. I'm trying not, I just don't feel as personally as comfortable and as confident that I'm not going to get. I'm just being warned, just put your hands back on the steering wheel. So I will, and then it's taken over the autonomy again. And then I end up going towards the other side of the road, and it doesn't. It makes me feel a little bit. It's a little bit unnerving, and the point of this technology is to make you feel purely confident that your car has got you safe, so that if my daughter Faith is in the back seat and she drops a dummy and I lean down, I know the car has got me safe. I'm not going to hit anything in front, and I'm not going to go out of my lane. Otherwise, the car will just stop for me. I'm struggling with the confidence here. Maybe it's user issue, but different view pieces. I've now got sat nav in front of me, which is so good. It's so impressive. So I've got sat nav over here. We've got navigation in front of me. I mean, I'm English, I still get lost, but it's nice to have as much navigation as possible. What we're going to do is we're going to flick this into the parking control area. So you get the overhead. That is just a must for me. It allows you to see where you're parking, whether you're parking in the lines or outside of the lines, etc. It's fantastic. And a lot of companies do it. But this is great. You can literally see, oh wow, I'm like a foot, maybe 18 inches away from the curb. I think it's fantastic. Look at this. You can genuinely real time. Okay, so what I mean by this is let's just creep a little bit closer to the curb. Rather, from my driving position, I'm not sure how close I am. Well, I'm still quite a long way away. Okay, well, let's just get a little bit closer. Having this is great. It will hopefully save many dollars in gutter rash claims or alloy scraping claims, however you want to call it. Very good technology. I really like it. And you can just live see what's around you. You know, we'll pull around this corner now and watch this. This is great. How close am I between these two cameras to the edge of the road? I'm just looking at the cameras. So I know I'm in the lane. Fantastic. And I'm away from the gutters. Really impressive stuff, this Audi. Find these lights fantastic. Whoa. Hang on a minute. Was that me? I don't think I pressed anything. Let's try that again. I didn't know that, which is why I was fairly surprised, but that is nice. You've got your shopping, or you've got your kid in the hands, and you need to get back and chuck everything in the boot, and you can use the foot sensor. That's very nice. I wasn't aware of that. First thing I saw when I saw this back is how futuristic it looks. This was parked next to a Q5, lovely Q5, but this just looked at from a different time. Audi have, I don't know whether you meant to say they've stolen it from Porsche or anything like that, but it just seems to be all the rage now because Porsche have brought this one bar light system across the back, and I think it looks fantastic. It's really obvious on the roads, probably a lot safer, but it just looks sensational. It looks very sleek. This angle of the car right here, I think, is my favorite. So like the Q7 is a big car, this has a more squat type feel to it. By more squat, they've got these huge paws almost, massive flared arches. Now these are 22-inch wheels, 22 inches, and I don't know what Audi have done, but there seems to be a lot of rubber here, which means on a 22-inch wheel, they just must be massive wheel arches, because 22 inches on most cars looks like it's going right to the edge, and it looks massive. Here, I think the car would look a bit weaker with anything less than 22. Let's have a look in the back. I haven't actually been in the back yet. Oh, how's this? This was a nice piece. When I opened the front door earlier, I realized they don't have the edge of a door, so it's pure window, bottom to top. I think that looks very slick. Wow, there is such a lot of room here. I'm 6 foot plus hair. That's my genuine driving position. I haven't touched anything. There's no automation moving this forward. And I have got buckets of room here. I've got an X5 BMW, and there is far more room in this back than in my car. And this, it's like there's an extra 6 inches. Like Mercedes have the S500 or the S500L, which is the same car, same everything, except it's elongated by about 4 inches for the limo feel. This has that feeling. There's so much room here. The roof, yeah, it's nice to have the double panel. Makes me feel good. For such a well-optioned car, and this has got everything, I still feel there's a little bit too much of this plastic. Looks great. The positioning is great. There's a huge side bolster here, which is really comfortable actually, but it is that little bit of plastic. Amazing. This is genuinely the first time I sat in the back. This is a cracking place to be. Very impressive. Ooh, a soft open door as well. This might be what the Q8's all about. It might be a car to be driven in. Feel that? That's lovely. I say feel it. Watch me feel it.